And we're back. It just seems like a couple minutes ago, didn't it? Hey, Midnight's Edge After Dark. What's going on? We're back. We're doing a regular show now. Thanks for joining us for the Orville and the STD portion of the program. I'm Mr. Rob Robot Shlomo, coming to you from Shabby Road Studios. With us, as always, Mr. Tom Connors.
Good evening. How are you?
Oh, fantastic. And with us, as always, is the ebullient, ever vivacious Miss Mecca Random.
Hello. I didn't do it.
Didn't do it? Okay. And of course, joining us, the music is all of you. Midnight's Edge After Dark is filmed before a live studio audience, but
all of you,
not really. So,
canned audience. Before we get started, I know people don't like when we drag stuff on, but I got something to show everybody. What we have here is Mr. Robo Shlomo's film. The name of the movie is Burial Boys, whatever. Here we go.
Let's set this.
Robot Shlomo's in this movie, so take a look,
have a
folks.
small penis.
Speak your mind with action.
There, stop right there. There you go. That's me with the hat.
Fucking stage.
There's more to it, isn't there? Don't you have a line?
Yes.
Okay.
I improvised the line. Yes, I'm a regular Paul.
Fucking sucks. Get off the stage. It sucks. I can't believe I wasted 10 bucks.
You yell that like you've heard it a few times.
Where do you think I drew inspiration from?
Yeah, you guys can check that out on YouTube. The entire movie's on YouTube. So there's Mr. Rob.
It's actually pretty good. It's actually a pretty good movie. I'm not saying that just because I'm in it. It's actually pretty good. It is actually a pretty good movie. Low budget. It's a low budget indie film. It's a couple guys made around here, and somebody alerted me on Facebook that they needed extras for a comedy club scene, and we filmed that scene in a little coffee house for about 3 hours. Just that one scene, 3.5, 4 hours.
Rivers says that guy with the hat is going places.
Yeah, going straight to YouTube. Yeah, there you go.
Hey, all the best people are on YouTube.
Yeah, like us.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, yes, I'm not making up. Not making up that. I never. My screen credits.
Let's get past all the pleasantries and get to the news, because there's all kinds of news to talk about.
You call that pleasantries?
Sure, why not?
All right. Okay. So what's first up on the docket here?
Oh, we can talk Ghostbusters. We want to talk Ghostbusters.
Yeah, why not? Talk about Ghostbusters. So what's in the Ghostbusters news? Let's take a look in the.
Well, Mecca sent us something a little earlier about some casting news in Ghostbusters.
Well,
I have to find it again.
I got it here. Don't worry. Don't panic. Well, it's a different version of it, but hey, it works.
No, the Picard show is different too.
Okay.
Yeah, we got the Picard show stuff to come up here in a little bit, but let's do Ghostbusters first. We got some casting news
from the NME, actually. Finn Wolfhard. He said hard. So I don't have my button up. So anyway. Finn Wolfhard and Carrie Coon are reportedly talks to star in the next Ghostbusters movie. Never heard of either of them. Who are you going to call? Finn and Carrie. According to rumors, Finn Wolfhard and Carrie Coon were reportedly being lined up to star in Jason Reitman's Ghostbusters, which is due to start filming this summer. According to a report in Variety, the Stranger Things star. What is with these kids in Stranger Things?
Well, they're hot. They're the it thing, you know. They're the popular thing. I don't mean that like any other way than they're popular. So.
Well, anyway, star and Fargo actress are in talks to join the forthcoming Ghostbusters sequel to play mother and son. It was announced earlier this year that Reitman, son of original Ghostbusters director Ivan Reitman, will co-write and direct the film, which is to be set in the original Ghostbusters universe. You can see the teaser trailer in the film below. Talk of a direct follow-up to the 1984's Ghostbusters, which starred Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, and Ernie Hudson, and the late Harold Ramis as the titular ghost catchers. In 1989's Ghostbusters 2 has persisted for some time, with Aykroyd giving fans a hopeful update as recently as last November. Earlier this year, some of the original Ghostbusters stars hinted at the possible return just after the sequel was confirmed. Aykroyd and Hudson responded to the news of the sequel on Twitter, although neither actor clearly indicated they would be reprising their roles in the new movie, instead teasing that they could somehow be involved with a new project. And there's a tweet: if you need a tune-up, you know who to call. Hashtag GB20. Jason Reitman, everybody can relax. I found the card. Hashtag GB20. Ernie Hudson, okay, bigger than a 100-foot marshmallow man. If you need a tune-up, you know who to call. Hashtag GB20. Asked about female-led reboots. Ghostbusters franchise which came out in 2016 and starred Melissa McCarthy, Kristen Wiig, and Kate McKinnon and Leslie Jones. Reitman confirmed that his film wouldn't have many ties to Paul Feig's. I have so much respect for what Paul created with those brilliant actresses and would love to see more stories from them, Reitman said. However, this new movie will follow the trajectory of the original film. The project is set to begin filming this summer. Damn it, a video just opened. Just as I got down to it, and it's a trailer for the 2016 movie. Shit, how did that happen? Well, anyway, I have so much respect. Okay, the project is set to begin filming this summer, with the finished film set for release on July 31st, 2020. Okay, so don't know who these kids are, who these people are, but all right, whatever.
Well,
Stranger Things and It. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Stranger Things and It, and it seems like pretty much anybody who's involved in Stranger Things is kind of like the popular kid that they want starring in everything. And I think that they're kind of that ever since they started reporting that it was going to be like kids, that was kind of the vibe I was getting, like, oh, okay, they're just going to go with a Stranger Things sort of vibe.
So
I'll give it a chance as long as it's clever.
Yeah.
I don't want to accuse them of hopping on whatever the hot trend is, but
I mean, it's better than the reboot. I think it does sound better so far.
Well, I gotta imagine that Jason Reitman turned it down before, or at least the chance to direct one and make a Ghostbusters 3 before. For him to do this now and to know what it means to the fans and how much he could fuck it up and what he faces if he does, I have a feeling he knows what he's doing. Yeah, I trust in that much, at least until I see something that makes me think otherwise, I guess.
All right. Isn't that all we can sing without getting copyright? We're already demonetized. What the hell? So there we go. Yeah, we gotta make it transformative. So make it transfer.
Run away! Run away! Run away!
Combining the two. There we go. Hey, sing with me. Who's something strange? In the neighborhood. Who are you gonna call?
Ghostbusters. Look at copyright strike.
Get a copyright strike. Who? Breaking YouTube law. Who are you gonna call? Yo, mama, that's who you call. Okay. I don't know. Are we done with this? Actually?
Yeah, I mean, really, what else is there to say? I mean, wait and see. Basically.
Yeah, I mean, it's still so early, and they aren't even confirmed casting yet. Like, it's still in talks. So I'm curious to see. I mean, I liked this better than the idea of like the 12-year-old Sheldon girl, but I don't know.
They're always on the they're always on the lookout for someone who's on the spectrum or whatever. So yeah, so let's keep this ball rolling. Train kept it rolling all night long. Train met a dame, kind of handsome and looked the same. She was pretty from New York City. All right. What else we got? What do we want to be next?
Star Trekking across the universe.
Yeah, we have actually there's 2 Star Trek stories.
Yeah, we'll do this one first, I guess.
The
the other one. I gotta get the other one.
The Picard series, the director. Oh yeah, there you go. Star Trek NL Culpepper will direct Picard pilot. First woman to launch Starfleck. What the hell? Star Trek series. It wasn't called Starfleck now because
that mean we're gonna get Ben Star Trek.
Might as well.
Sweet.
Star Trek is boldly going on a new mission where only men have gone before.
Affleck!
Hanel Culpepper will direct the first 2 episodes of the upcoming Untitled Star Trek Jean-Luc Picard series, making her the first woman to direct a pilot or debut episode. See, it's spelled debut, but it's really debut episode of Starfleet series in the franchise's 53-year history. All 13 feature films in the Trek universe have also been directed by men. There's a reason for that, because men are generally more interested in science fiction.
Filthy, stinking men.
Vile penis owners. So, Culpepper's directed 2 episodes of Star Trek Discovery Too Far. You don't want to brag about that on CBS All Access. She helmed the episode titled Vaulting Ambition in Season 1. Which one was that? Vaulting Ambition. I think that, well, they were all terrible. As well as an upcoming episode of Season 2, now underway on the subscription streaming site. The as of yet untitled Star Trek series features Patrick Stewart reprising his iconic character, Jean-Luc Picard, which he played for 7 seasons on Star Trek The Next Generation. The new series will follow the iconic character into the next chapter of his life and will air exclusively on CBS All Access in the United States, with concurrent international distribution by CBS Studios International. Culpepper most recently directed multiple episodes of Counterpart on Stars and episodes of Shooter for USA. Never heard of it. In addition to the upcoming NOS 482. Never heard of it. For AMC.
So I'm looking at her IMDb. She has a lot of directing credits. She's got 41 directing credits going back to like 2002, it looks like.
Well, at least she's worked her way up.
Yeah, and one of her earliest things was a documentary short, How to Stand in Line for Star Wars. So I think she has some interest at least, but you know, she's got stuff all over the place in television. But there's a lot of science fiction in there, so.
Well, I do have the coolest rest home in all of the galaxy, so it will make an interesting show. I can say that much.
Really? You think so, old man Picard?
It's the greatest senior living facility anywhere. Boobies galore.
How curious.
Exactly.
So, but old man Picard, how do you feel about a woman directing your series?
No problem.
No?
So here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'm reading her IMDb, and she has this is kind of an interesting thing. It's kind of related to Captain Marvel a little bit. So she began her filmmaking career when she was selected for Bill and Camille Cosby's screenwriting program for African American writers. That kind of reminds me a little bit about how Brie Larson wants to kind of handpick more diverse people, and instead of like actually doing anything like starting a charity to really help get more people interested in this. And as much as we you know, Bill Cosby is kind of a screw up, that's at least a good charity sort of program. That's a good sort of program, I think.
Well, Alex Kurtzman has something to say about her, though. Showrunner Alex Kurtzman said Culpepper is ideal Starfleet material. Hanel is a gifted. Oh wait, gotta get. Let's get the and button together. Tom, we have to
Yes.
get we have to get the and button ready.
Yes.
Okay, are you ready? Okay, Hanel is a gifted and dynamic filmmaker whose directorial choices are always deeply rooted in character. I've been a huge fan of her work since she started with us on Discovery, and she's the perfect person to reintroduce the beloved character of Picard to longtime fans and new viewers alike. We're thrilled she's joining us. We're thrilled she's joining our Trek family on this next adventure. Oh, wow. Only 3 that time. Was that 3 or 4? We should have a ticker. The
I think
ant
it was
counter.
4. There are 4 lights.
There are 4 ants. There are 4 ants. How many ants do you see, Picard?
Good
How many ants do you see?
I will not say. There are 2 boobies.
Correct answer. 2 boobies. Oh. Well, anyway, that hashtag show has more information.
1 for each hand. And if I had a third boobie, it would be in my mouth. But if I was only one-handed, then I would only need a one-breasted woman. So if you're out there and I lose a hand, keep that in mind.
There's a delayed reaction from the audience. The audience took a while to get that one. So, okay, the Picard series had that hashtag show has a breakdown of and updating breakdowns. Picard series, what we know so far. CBS has been keeping details of the currently untitled Picard series close to the chest. It's close to the vest, you idiot. Even though it's set to premiere at the end of the year, little is known about it so far. Currently, we know the following. The first season will be 10 episodes. It will take place approximately 20 years after the TNG finale, which puts us around 2389. Destruction of Romulus is official prime timeline canon now.
Well, yeah, they said it was canon to the prime timeline.
Yes, because we all know prime timeline canon is bullshit.
Yep.
The series itself is also in the prime timeline with the Kelvin timeline running parallel to it. As of right now, they will not intertwine. Patrick Stewart is returning as Jean-Luc Picard. With production set to begin sometime in mid-April, the casting department has about 2 months to find the right actors to fill out the rest of the cast, and that means casting notices and character breakdowns. The breakdowns reveal the working title of the series to be Drawing Room. Drawing Room? No, that's a placeholder. It's probably to throw people off on the call sheets, and lists 7 lead characters in addition to Picard. While the information we have is current, it's always worth noting that it can change at any time. Series leads. The first character is in the list is the main man himself, Jean-Luc Picard, male. But he's a white male though, and that's all we've got from for him. From the interviews and assorted other information that's been released, we know that Picard will have been
what a
affected
man!
by
What a man! What a mighty good man!
That's right. That's right.
I'm listening.
So. Okay. It's just Ramos the bond between Ramos and Empire. Okay. Yeah. Next, we have Starton, a male of any ethnicity in his 30s. He specializes in positronic brains and is terrified of space. What's he doing working in Starfleet then?
I don't know, but he's always got to be starting something. Got to be starting something. Got to be starting something. He.
He's charming in a self-deprecating way and is excited about the research opportunities on Picard's mission. It goes on to say that his demeanor will evolve over the series, but it does not say in what way. How will his demeanor evolve, Picard?
Too high to get over, too low to get under. Yeah. You're stuck in the middle. Yeah.
He's stuck in the middle with you?
Don't you know the song?
I'm just wondering, in between her breasts or her legs?
Both, of course. Giggity,
giggity, giggity, giggity.
Starting something. Want to be starting something. Got to be starting something. That's a good song.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Oh, dancing.
Okay. Next character. Okay. Connie, a female who's also in her 30s. She's
Ooh.
African American, has a quick temper, but is also quick to forgive.
Feisty.
Yes, feisty. In addition to dealing with the loss of her husband, she's also avoiding a death sentence on her home planet.
Oh,
She's a
but that means
mercenary.
she's single, right?
Yes, it does. And she's on the run. So she needs a place to shack up.
There you go.
She's a mercenary pilot who uses her skills to transport people and to and from an artifact of some kind, though the ship is massively overqualified for that job. Lawrence is a handsome man in his 30s of any ethnicity who has
He's
a
not that
dodgy
good looking.
No, he's not.
No.
Who has a no. Yes. Old man Picard, you've never swung that way, have you?
Oh, a couple times in college, but it was experimental and, you know.
Yeah, everybody's done those things in college, haven't they?
Of course.
Yes. Anyways, he has a dodgy moral compass. He's the pilot of the ship Picard takes on his mission. Being a capable and enthusiastic thief, his loyalties are questionable. An upgraded EMH. Dr. Smith is a male in his 30s or 40s of any ethnicity. From his description, it sounds like he's an upgraded or wholly new version of the EMH, emergency medical hologram. He's described as a hologram who helps the crew through emergencies, encompassing engineering, tactical science, investigation, and medical issues. He was programmed to learn but not become too self-aware. He's calm, efficient, and empathic. Would it be empathetic? Empathic means
empathic. It's like a telepath.
you feel other people's emotions.
Yeah, it's like
Right.
Deanna Troy.
Mm-hmm. Empathetic means you're just keyed into other people's emotions. But he sometimes has difficulties sorting out others' emotional reactions to get at the facts. What about you, old man Picard? You had a thing for Counselor Troy, didn't you?
Of course. Well,
Yes, of
you
course.
know,
Okay.
we always searched our feelings until I felt her buttocks, and then that's usually when things got awkward.
Did you and Counselor Troy ever play to hide the photon torpedo?
Once or twice. But then personnel got on my case about fraternizing with other Starfleet members, blah, 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 blah. Boobies.
Yes, Starfleet is known for their quite strict HR department. Okay, Kabar.
As shit. Do you think I care what Starfleet says? No.
No, you don't. Kabar is the youngest of the leads. He's a 17-year-old Romulan. 17-year-old Romulan and the only child of what's a mainly female spiritual order. Probably the Tal Shiar, probably. Oh, anyway. A martial artist and considered a lethal weapon. He's prone to mood swings and is committed to living in the moment with as much transparency as possible. So he's a Romulan hipster.
Oh God.
He takes his devotion to Picard and his mission extremely seriously. Obviously, they're looking to find someone with martial arts experience, but also note that fencing is a plus. Indira is a female in her early 20s of any ethnicity. She's extremely smart and physically agile, but maybe not so mature and a bit socially challenged because she tries too hard. Her intelligence often gets in the way of her manners. She's cut off from her home, and her difficult mission puts a strain on her maturity. She's still finding her way in the wider world. Alana's a female in her mid-40s to mid-50s. Oh, kind of like Tyler's aunt.
Do tell.
And is of any ethnicity. She's brilliant. When you say of any ethnicity, they mean they're going to go with a diversity casting.
Yeah.
She's a brilliant analyst and has a great memory despite abusing drugs and alcohol. Oftentimes, she gets irritated with her own vulnerability and
Ooh,
is
party
certain of
girl.
herself. Oh, yeah, party girl. Even when she's wrong. A former intelligence officer, she sees conspiracies everywhere. Professional and personal losses weigh heavily on her. So, what's it about? Well, learning about all these characters is interesting in their own right. Some of the descriptions help piece together some of the show's plot. It sounds like they'll be playing into Picard's interest in archaeology, and his main mission will revolve around some sort of artifact that's been discovered. It's also interesting to note that the only character that has any mention of Starfleet in their description is Starton. While Alana is a former intelligence officer, it doesn't say for whom. Now, with all of this information, I have to ask myself if Picard is actually still in Starfleet. They said he's probably not going to be in Starfleet. He's going to be
Who am I?
Picard.
Indiana fucking Jones?
Yes, you are.
Oh Christ!
Do you use a whip for friendly purposes, Picard?
Fuck no.
No.
Only for BDSM, of course. It's the future. What the fuck am I going to use a whip for on a ship? Other than fun.
Well, that's a good point. I don't know about you guys. This sounds like it's going to be a really fun show. One of my favorite TNG episodes was The Chase, which also consistently connects Picard's relationship with the Romulans, even on a minor level. Once again, any of this information can change at a moment's notice. We'll be keeping an eye on, giving eyes on news about the series. Make sure you keep updated. What you guys think? Blah blah blah. Nobody cares.
Yada yada yada. Nobody cares.
Mm-hmm.
Is she going to be telling him off and like telling him how she's smarter than him and she's the bestest ever?
Of course.
Do. Whip it.
Oh,
Into shape. Shape it up. Get it straight.
I never knew Old Man Picard was a fan of Devo.
Oh shit! I love classical music.
Now, Old Man Picard. All we ever saw on Star Trek: Next Generation.
Man, he said, "No way." Do. What? I was singing Beastie Boys. They're popular, you know.
Yes, we do know. Now, all we ever saw on the Next Generation was Shakespeare and classical music and jazz. I mean, what other types of music did Old Man Picard like besides?
Well, of course, I love the Beatles and Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd and Queen and Bob Seger, and I'm a big fan of Aqua. Do you remember that? I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. That song, I love it.
I thought for sure you'd be a fan of Weird Al Yankovic.
Ooh.
No, exactly.
I was until he went serious. When he went serious around 2040, then I just kind of lost interest. That he got too serious for me.
Yes. Oh, I forgot the time index this one. Shit. So,
well, you know, I do also enjoy a little Elton John, of course. You know, who doesn't? And Meatloaf.
Elton John ever enjoy you? That's the question.
Well, I was quite old by the time he's quite old by the time I was born. You know, dead. Yes. You know, Frank Sinatra, of course. You know, the classics. All of the classics. Elvis, Buddy Holly, the Beach Boys. I'm a big fan of the Beach Boys.
Yes. What about that song by Janet Dean, Two Girls for Every Boy? I mean, didn't you always
Janet Dean on a bunch of Beach Boys ripoffs?
Kinda, yeah.
Get with the program.
Yes, but they did have a good message though. Two Girls for Every Boy.
Did they have Brian Wilson? No, they did not. End of discussion.
Yes, they did. Okay. All right, Old Man Picard. Thank you, Old Man Picard.
And I also love Julie Andrews and Megadeth. Big fan of Megadeth.
Yeah.
Especially the song Go to Hell. Great song.
From Bill and Ted.
Yes, it was in that film. But it was also on Symphony of Destruction. Great album.
Oh man. All right. What other news do we have here?
Captain Marvel, it says here.
I forgot the time index, the last one. So.
Oh, shit.
She has no ass.
Captain Flat Ass. She gives a new definition to the. She gives a new meaning to the term planking.
Do Soften USA.
Where's the Captain Marvel story?
Well, that was more so. This is kind of a few different stories, right, Mecca?
Yeah.
This is more of a clarification because there's a lot of people talking a lot of shit, and everybody knows that. I'm kind of been just kind of neutral on the matter, but Mecca and Rob have been really kind of upset at the whole Captain Marvel situation. But there's some quote unquote fake news going around about Captain Marvel, is there not?
Fake news, total fake news.
Well, it's not so much fake news. It's a little bit more of a spin on news. Okay. It's just something that I think people didn't really notice with anything. That basically they're not being allowed to. They're spinning it as basically they're not being allowed to buy tickets to anything other than Captain Marvel for next week for a pre-order, when that's kind of not entirely the case. The thing about Captain Marvel is like they don't know exactly how many theaters they're going to need for Captain Marvel, so they're kind of holding off on securing and booking theaters, especially going through Fandango, because Fandango is kind of one of the larger ones. A lot of the smaller theaters, they do have like the smaller chains you can pre-order for next week, but it has always kind of been a thing, right?
Right, because they don't really necessarily know what their schedule is going to be until later in the week, if not until that Friday. Mm-hmm. So, and that comes along with the whole digital age. And I've talked to theater owners before and talked to them a little bit about how this all works out and the stuff they have to go through to get some of these premieres and everything, especially the little guys. So it's not a big surprise. Come Wednesday or Thursday, other showings will probably pop up. But then there's also people claiming that Fandango is the only way you can buy these tickets. Well, if a theater that you pre-order through goes through Fandango, that's probably the way it's always been. But if you're through a smaller theater, or who else was the other one you said that doesn't use Fandango?
Marcus, right?
I think it was Marcus. You said, yeah, that their theater goes straight through their website, I believe. So it's just a matter of where you're going through. There's also been people who have been claiming that they have not been able to get refunds, which I think is also false in most cases. I'm not totally sure. On some places they might have stipulations on reserved seating. That's one thing I don't know, because I've only been to a few theaters that have ever had reserved seating. So I'm not quite sure on how that works. We're not trying to shill for Captain Marvel or Disney. We're just out here clearing the air about the situation. And Rob, you were actually kind of impressed with some of the things that Bree had to say earlier, did you not? I mean, even though she couldn't quite get them out like a normal human being, but you got the sentiment at least, correct?
Yeah. Well, it's so much so that I completely forgot what it was.
To paraphrase, she was talking about how, even though, because I believe the interviewee asked her a question about being the first female-led Marvel movie, and she basically, she took the time to acknowledge all the strong female characters that were in Marvel already before her. Which, gosh, somebody should take some notes from her, don't you think?
Yep.
Yeah. You think they prepare some? Do you think they'd prepare some talking points for her? But let me see if I can find the quote. It was on from an interview.
I was talking about Sneak with Martin Green, but
yeah.
But yeah, the other part of this thing was a lot of the time, even when I would go to like when I lived in Wisconsin and could use the Marcus theaters, you go to their website and you can only get the major movies, and it's been like that since Star Wars, as far as I can remember, even probably farther back, where the only movies that they really have locked down, and they're always going to be in like the biggest theaters too. Like if you have an ultra screen or a super screen or something, the biggest screen are always going to have the newest movies. And those are the only ones that they're going to actually secure, at least the biggest theater, at least probably the 2 biggest theaters, and then they'll kind of add more from there to see how quickly those fill up, and that's why they don't go to the trouble of booking like the rest of them until they kind of get an idea of how well this movie's gonna sell. Because sometimes you have movies like, The Force Awakens, and then you'll have The Last Jedi.
All right. I found it. So do I have
Well,
to
there's
read
not
this
only
like
that, but some of them
Larson?
are forced to take so many 3D screenings and stuff like
Mhm.
that.
And
know,
how
that
much Disney wants you to have. You have to have a certain amount of screens to even get the movie sometimes.
Mhm.
Yep, there's that too. And Disney kind of took a lot of from Lucasfilm to where Lucasfilm used to be. You'd have to keep the Star Wars movies for X amount of time. They got like 90% of the revenue for the first 2 weeks or something like that, and all this other kind of crap. And I guess Marvel's kind of the same way on their movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Should I read this in Brie Larson's voice?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to? Oh, well, it'd be funnier if I read it. I just don't think about it being the first female-led Marvel film because I think there's been a lot of great female characters that's been already in my mind, leading things in the MCU. So I'm just joining them. Oh. Even just basic sentence structure, she's a mess.
She's not.
She's take a look at the sentence. I just don't think about it being the first female-led Marvel film. I just don't think about it because I think there's been a lot of great female characters that's already been in my mind leading things in the MCU. So I'm just joining them. That sentence is a mess. I'm sorry, you're about to say.
No, she just doesn't come across as she's not presenting herself as being very intelligent, I think. And I'm not saying she's stupid. I'm just saying she's not coming across smart when she's talking sometimes.
But she thinks she's smart. That's the thing.
Yeah.
She probably is, but the problem is she was probably so sheltered. She didn't have a lot of interaction with people, I don't think. And you can tell by the way she talks, carries herself. And I'm not trying to make excuses for her or any of the stupid shit she said. Don't get me wrong, because she's done and said some stupid shit. I mean, granted, some of it's been blown out of proportion probably, but that's just because I don't think she realizes or understands how to communicate her thoughts clearly to people, like somebody who would have been, in a social situation where you're constantly having, social interaction with other peers and stuff like that, to where I don't know what kind of upbringing she had. I know she was homeschooled, which doesn't mean she's stupid by any means, because by statistics alone, most homeschooled kids are smarter, but they're also more introverted and not as socially adept either.
No, they don't learn like social, like so.
Well, and that's where a lot of schools have almost forced, like, parents who have homeschooled kids. I don't say they're forced, but they really encourage them to get their kids out for other extracurricular activities that aren't necessarily school, at the school during school hours, but like sports and other things. So they are interacting with other kids or, scouts or something like that, anything.
Yeah. Patrick Ollinger said, name a female alien that I think is hot. Jadiza Dax. It's Jadiza, right? Yeah. It's been a while since I've seen Speak These Ways.
Jadzia.
Jadzia, yeah. Yeah, it's been a while since Jadzia Dax. Yeah, Dax. Terry. Well, I've always thought Terry Farrell was hot. Jeez. Even when she was in Back to School. So, Susan Oliver when she was painted green as the Orion girl. That was hot. All right.
And then we drift off into Star Trek actresses Rob would bang. That should be our other bingo.
Yeah, just how much what space is Kira from Deep Space Nine? I saw a picture of her fairly recently. She's almost 60. She still looks really good.
I don't know. We'll find out in a week. I mean, I don't know. if we're going to necessarily review it on here. I guess it depends on if Rob sees it Thursday night or not. Because I think Andre has some kind of plan for it. So I don't know if we're just going to save it for a roundtable or not.
Yes,
We'll let you
I have a plan for you. I'm going to tape your eyelids open and I'm going to make you watch it. Because that's how I get you to watch things now.
Since when is Andre Dracula? That's what he sound like.
Connors, you are going to watch the Captain Marvel. We have a super chat. Yes, we have the Death by Ray Gun Bargain Bin. Death Ray Bargain Bin. Whatever the hell it is. What are your thoughts on Bumblebee being a Transformers reboot? I think it's the best thing that could happen to the franchise at this point.
It kind of wasn't a reboot, though, I thought, because it was more of a prequel.
Well, I think Paramount did confirm that it is technically a reboot.
Oh, okay.
It is technically a reboot. And I have a question for you while I'm in vampire mode. How the hell did vampires get to be so gay? I can't understand this. Vampires used to be scary. Now they sparkle. I don't
Twilight.
understand.
You're basically playing Adam Sandler in Hotel Transylvania.
I am. I've never seen that movie.
It's cute. You should watch it. I like it.
Vampires were not cute. Vampires were evil. Yes, they were kind of intriguing, but just as long as they skipped the garlic bread at Olive Garden, everything was okay.
Ta-da!
All right. I'm going into I have a medical practice, don't you know? Dr. Acula. Yes. I specialize in drawing blood. So, all right, never mind. This is getting lame. Okay, what else is up in the news here?
Marvel's dumping, or Disney's dumping Marvel Comics. There's
this is something they've been speculating for a long time. I mean, people have been speculating about this for a while, but they say Casada and CB Sobalski are going to South by Southwest in Austin this year. That's actually coming up in a couple weeks. And they're going to be hosting a panel that says, about titled Marvel from Comics to Screens. It's an hour-long panel. They're going to look at how some of the Marvel's most iconic characters and storylines have contributed to games, movies, television, and are so renowned around pop culture. This comes from Cosmic Book News. Everything starts with an idea, and Marvel Comics is the spark that lights fires, the press release states. Bleeding Cool actually puts it forth. The reason Kassan and Sobalski are doing the panel is in essence to save Marvel Comics, as sales have been dwindling for years, and they need to convince Disney that publishing Marvel comic books, even though they are losing money, is still a good idea because it is the inspiration for markets that do make money, such as Kevin Feige's insanely popular MCU. Regarding the comic book market and Marvel Comics being in a state of collapse, a retailer summit was recently held, which saw comic book store owner Brian Hibbs offer the industry is nearly on its knees. And pointed to that's an awkwardly worded sentence. And pointed to Marvel as the main culprit. National sales are very poor. There are comics in the national top 100 that aren't even selling 20,000 copies. A significant number of stores have closed, perhaps as many as 10% of outlets, Hibbs said. Pull up a picture of this guy, Brian Hibbs. I wonder what he looks like. We want a clear and current example of Marvel's preposterous flood zone strategy. War of the Realms is supposed to be their major quarter 2 project in 2019, but in the first month alone, they're asking us to buy into 2 issues of the series being released with no sales data. as well as 4 different tie-in miniseries. All 6 of these comics, which are built around a 6-issue storyline, will require final orders from us before we've sold a single comic to an actual reader. Is there anyone in this room that thinks this is good, that this is sustainable, that this will sell more comics to more readers, that this will sell any copies to people who aren't already on board Marvel's periodicals already? While there's currently just speculation that Disney would shut down Marvel Comics, worth a mention is that it could be possible one day Marvel decides to simply license out the characters and stop publishing altogether. Disney CEO Bob Iger, in an investor's call, recently said that the company isn't going to bother producing video games in-house because they feel it isn't worth it. They have been doing that since 2013. Perhaps that could be the fate of Marvel comic books in Marvel comic book industry. If you happen to follow comic book news rather closely, I'll add my own 2 cents in that I've been complaining about the problems surrounding Marvel Comics for years. Basically, when Marvel Comics canceled titles like Nova and Guardians of the Galaxy for no good reason and replaced them with characters no one wanted to read about, and promoted the new series with dozens and dozens of variants. One issue had upwards of 30 variant covers alone. It caused a huge backlash amongst readers. Marvel Comics then proceeded to continue with that format with their more popular characters, with the results backfiring completely. Oh yeah, this guy looks like a typical comic book store owner. You go to any comic book store in the country, you see a guy like that behind the counter.
Mm-hmm. It's like they grow them in a special comic book manager lab.
Worst commentator ever. Robot Shlomo. Mid-level to low-level internet YouTube celebrity. D-list, if not F-list. Horrible.
Try more like H-list.
Worst sister channel ever.
Yeah,
but that Andre guy, he's pretty good.
Yes. But again, though, the problem here, they're products something that nobody, if you want to think of comic books as product, you're not making things people want. Okay. Really. And remember we had that thing about the retailers breakfast that Marvel had at the New York Comic Con? A guy stood up, he said, listen, you're selling me, you're giving me books that I can't sell. You got kids coming into the store looking for the books with the guys in the movies, and they're walking out when they can't find them. And immediately, all anybody could do, immediately, that happened, and all the websites that covered it. I don't know who was it. I don't know if it was Bleeding Cool. I don't remember what websites, but all they could say was that Marvel retailers are racist. Comic book store owners are racist. They're homophobic. They're misogynistic. They're racist. No, these are guys that are businessmen. You're not giving them supply that they can sell. It's not racism. It's business. You changed everything overnight.
I think we've said this before. It's like, if you have a falafel business and the people that you buy your falafels from change the formula and change the way they taste, and they make them cheaper and shittier, and your customers don't like them, you're either going to buy your falafel stock from another place, or you're going to complain to the people you buy the shit from, and that's kind of the same thing here. What do you expect? Like you said, people come in expecting Captain America and Iron Man and all these characters, Thor and whatnot, to be like the characters they see in movies, and when they get to the store and they're not, it becomes very confusing. You even have, so now Miles Morales is a little more mainstream, but what about the simple fact that they changed the character so much to be more like Peter Parker that the character in the comic ain't the same character exactly from what, and it's like, it's,
well, at least they made Captain America a Nazi. That's the best analogy. They made Captain America
or something like that anyway, or something or other. I can't remember now.
A good analogy, like someone said, like if you have a restaurant that specializes in baked potatoes, and you go just one restaurant, you say, "Yeah, I'm gonna get my baked potato," and all of a sudden they change the menu and they have carrots, and you don't like, and they just change the, or you want a steak, and they all of a sudden one day they change the menu and they're vegan, and you say, I'd like a steak. So you're saying you hate vegans? No, I'm saying that I come here normal for a steak, and I would like a steak. What happened? I thought you guys sell steak. Oh, why do you hate vegans? I'm not saying I hate vegans. I'm saying I came here for last every week for the last 5 years to have a steak, and now you've changed the menu, and I'm asking you why I can't get a steak here. Everyone, this man hates vegans. That's what they're doing.
Well, yeah, I get it exactly. It's like when you go, oh, well, I don't know why Iron Man is a woman now. It makes no sense. Well, you're just racist and misogynistic, but it's called Iron Man.
Exactly.
Why can't I buy what happened to Tony Stark? I mean, oh, well, what, you hate black characters? No, I'm saying I like Tony Stark. I have nothing against black characters. I'm saying I like Tony Stark. I would like to buy more books with Tony Stark. I'm asking you, what happened to Tony Stark that I can't buy books? Why do you hate black characters? I'm not saying I hate black characters. I'm saying I want to know what happened to Tony Stark, and why can't I buy everyone? This person hates black characters. That's what you're saying.
That's a better example, because I mean, Iron Man is so much more synonymous with just being Tony Stark, more so. I mean, he is the character all the time. He's not like Batman or Superman, to where the alter ego is an alter ego so much as that is a big part of the character of who he is. I mean, certain other characters I can understand. You could get away with twisting and bending some things so much, and it doesn't matter as much, as long as the character stays true to the spirit of who it is. And as I've always said, as long as they have the same powers and pretty much the same background, once you change something about the character and you have to change something about them to make it fit, that's when you shouldn't do it.
Exactly.
And they're relying on characters, like I said, as much as I keep saying Carol Danvers was an interesting character, but they're relying on her to be the face of Marvel Comics. And readers have said, we don't like her. Sorry, you can't make us like her. Oh, you're just misogynistic. You hate women. No, we don't like this character. We like plenty of other female characters. We like Black Widow.
Well, I can't believe that they're banking on her so much, if that's the case. I mean, I'm not saying that, there isn't a lot of people building up this whole thing around it, but it is. If that's the case, then no, they're fools if that's what they're doing, because Captain Marvel is no Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman worked not just because people wanted a strong female hero. We've had tons of heroines in the past that were strong characters that first, before they were even female, like Sarah Connor or Ripley, or the list goes on and on. We've said them before, but point being, in this case, you're not going to have the appeal there, so they're trying to build it up in the process. They're alienating what male fans were interested probably in it. Yes, you have some out there defending it. You have a lot of Marvel fans who are kind of caught in the middle of it all. You have a lot of fans who rightfully so want to see this, and they're being attacked by other fans. We're getting a variant of all the crazy fan shit that we've had to deal with up to this point, between Ghostbusters and Star Wars and everything all at once. And I feel sorry for a lot of people involved in this, because there are people who genuinely just want to enjoy this movie and see this movie, who are getting, attacked by people who don't want anything to have to do with this movie and are so against anything that Brie has set out in public, and they have this notion in their head that Marvel's going to go completely SJW, which outside of a few things, there is no real reason to believe that yet, until we see Endgame. If I'm wrong, I'll be the first one to admit it, but I cannot believe that they would go to the extent
they just
are saying out there. It just
I have a theory about this too. Go ahead.
Well, they've seen what happened in the comics, though. That's the problem. They've seen, and the comics have been seen as sort of like a testing lab for the movies. But like I said, this is they've been like I said they've been trying to sell Carol Danvers as the face of Marvel Comics, and like I said, this is your face of Marvel Comics right there. That is what they've been trying. Now, listen, Sana Anamat, she came in 2009, and she literally said, "We are going to change who reads Marvel Comics. We want more women to read Marvel Comics," and she's been behind these changes. Her and Kelly Sue DeConnick and all those and all their gang of cronies. Really, this is what you think is going to sell. There's a reason why they call her Carl Manvers.
Yes, but as I just reminded the chat, Kevin Feige is not Kathleen Kennedy. Okay?
No, he's a lot smarter
not
than that.
Stupid. He knows that a good, huge portion of the fan base is not only male, but young boys and all that kind of stuff. And as sexist as it sounds, most young boys don't want to play with toys that are girl toys. Doesn't matter what they're in. They generally do not gravitate towards a female action figure, period. It just doesn't. It's not necessarily in every case, but I'm probably willing to bet 6 out of 10 times most kids are not going to buy a Captain Marvel figure. They're just not. It's boys, I mean. It's just not going to happen. And when the whole point of buying Star Wars and buying Marvel for Disney was to get the boys because they already had the girls with the princesses and everything else, it defeats the purpose to keep trying to skew everything to this audience that is already there already, actually, which is stupid. And you're not going to gain any new ones by doing this. In the small number that you're going to gain, you're going to lose so many in the exterior. In the long run, it's not even worth it. And we know that's what's going to happen. We've seen it happen with Ghostbusters, with Star Wars, with Star Trek, everything else.
Mecca,
well, yeah. Well, keep that in mind. And this is what I was wondering. I was kind of thinking about this. I made a video on this a few days ago, and I was kind of asking and thinking out loud, what if Kevin Feige is letting this happen on purpose, just to kind of say, "See, I told you so." SJW shit doesn't sell movies, because I'm imagining a hypothetical scenario of of Bob Iger coming in and saying, "Oh yeah, we need to push towards girls. We need more girls to watch these things. We need to sell more toys to girls. We need to," and I can imagine having that sort of thing because that was Kathleen Kennedy's focus. And what if he's like, no, this isn't gonna sell, because he knows his product. He's a comic fan. He's a comic expert in a lot of ways, right? So what if he knows that you've got this, like you guys are saying, you've got this 35 to 45-year-old white male demographic, or just male demographic in general. Why are you trying so hard to hire this woman who's very, very politically outspoken in a lot of her interviews in the first place, and B, why are you allowing her to kind of keep saying stuff like that, keep being like an activist while promoting your movie? Why are you allowed to keep kind of bringing in your political agenda? Is it because he's kind of saying, you know what, I told you so? I wonder if he's got a backup plan to bring in the Rogue and stuff. And
well, here's the thing. Go ahead, Rob.
I gotta think Bob Iger. Bob Iger wanted this more than Kevin Feige. I think you're right in that respect.
What they were trying to do, not to just interrupt you, Rob, but somebody brought up Black Panther in the chat, and that's a very good point. They are trying to do, and Andre brought this up too, they're trying to recapture Black Panther, and in the process, they fucked up. And the wild card was Brie Larson. Now, because, Chris Evans and Chris Pratt and what's his face who plays the Hulk, Mark Ruffalo, have all been outspoken politically or religiously on many, many, many things. And the only one who's really gotten any flack has been Chris Pratt, a little bit about his religious views. And the rest haven't. But you don't have Chris Evans and Mark Ruffalo going out there going, well, the Hulk isn't really meant for white girls. That's the problem. I don't think they planned on her going out there and saying something that fucking stupid. I know what she was trying to say, But no matter how you cut it, it comes off in a way that makes white men, and I don't care how many people want to say, oh, crybaby, cry. No, it makes people feel like they're excluded. One way or another, it doesn't fucking matter. Because again, like Andre pointed out, and I know several other people have, what if she said black men? You know, think of the fire that would have just erupted after that. But no, it's okay that she said white men in that instance. Even though she was taken out of context in some ways, she still said it the way she said it. That's the fucking problem. And I really don't think they probably pushed her to go, oh yeah, push the girl power aspect of it to kind of sell it like Black Panther. But I don't think they expected her to say something stupid like that. And that's where things got out of hand. You get what I'm saying? I mean, that's my feeling of the whole man.
Well, yeah, I think I always say like her heart's in the right place, but her head's kind of up her own ass, up her own non-existent ass, basically, because she wants to say something. It feels like she wants to say, yes, equality is great. We need more, diversity is a good thing, but she comes across so male bashing and smug and arrogant and snotty. Her attitude comes across snotty. Her voice, the way she rolls her eyes, am I saying I hate white dudes? No, like that's so snotty.
Her credibility is fucking
yeah,
go ahead, Rob.
That little head shake she did, and he goes, I don't need a 40-year-old white man to tell me what he didn't like about A Wrinkle in Time. That little head bob she does,
Uh-huh.
Well, and I just got to say this. There's people out there who don't understand people who have the issue. And I'm in the middle on this whole thing because I understand both sides to it. Her credibility went out the window because of all the shit she's said and done in the past, too, though. That's the problem. It's not just this one incident. It's the TSA worker. It's the other comments she's made in the past. It's the Stan Lee picture. It's the other disrespectful things that she's said and done to this point. I totally get it. I get both angles to it, and I wish everybody would, because I think everybody would take a chill pill on this whole thing and just kind of wait and see. Because everybody who don't want to go see it, don't go see it. Because if it makes less than $80 million at the box office, then yes, it's a disaster, and it will make Rotten Tomatoes look really bad. And it will make Disney look, and Marvel and Brie all look really, really fucking bad. Mm-hmm. But if it makes more than $80 million, then it was much to do about nothing. I mean, yes, there's a vocal quote unquote minority then in that case, that there's a loud minority out there that didn't like Brie's comments, but enough people went anyway that it didn't fucking matter in the end. Now, it could be a situation like Star Wars where the first weekend does great and the second weekend just drops the hell off. If that happens, that's another bad sign, but we'll have to wait and see how it goes. If it does anywhere near what Wonder Woman did, then they'll be all right. Because again, like, to bring back what I said before, not to repeat myself, but this is not a Wonder Woman. This is not somebody who everybody knows. You can't expect this to make $150 million. I don't care. Black Panther only comes along once in a lifetime.
Again, as we pointed out, though, I mean, everything you need to know about Brie Larson is encapsulated here in this photo. That's all you need. That's all you need to. Thinking about Stan Lee, what a legend, with her little fruity drink, her custom Dolce & Gabbana handbag, and her matching shoes, which probably she paid through the nose for. She had to make sure whoever took that picture angled it so that you noticed that her shoes matched her bag. And it just, all this says to me that it's all about her.
And I don't disagree. And that's where I understand where a lot of the animosity towards her is coming from. I totally get it. But I also see where she's being misrepresented in certain things. And I see where we just talked about earlier, where people are just blowing a lot of shit out of proportion to try and create controversy where they're not. Yeah. And it's hitting a fever pitch.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too is nobody likes somebody who thinks they're the one person that nobody can stand is the guy who thinks he's the smartest motherfucker in the room. And that's what she comes across as a lot of times.
Right. And that's why we don't like you either, Rob. But the point is, no.
Oh,
no, you're right. You're totally right. And that's the biggest issue, is she's got this smug air about her when she's talking about these things that really rubs some people the wrong way. It doesn't matter what your background is. It can be a variant of whatever, I mean, because I'm waiting for the next tick to be, oh, you just don't like Captain Marvel because you're a Trump supporter, or you don't like Captain Marvel because of this or that. It's all coming. It's all coming. Just wait. But at the same time, if everybody would just take a pill and just like, you know what, we're not going to feed into the media. We're not going to feed into and we're part of it. We're part of the media. Here we are, though, doing the exact opposite of what everybody claims we do. And that is killing conspiracies, because there is I don't see it. I think Mecca is completely right. The Fandango thing's being blown up, the theater thing's being blown up. I've had that same situation before, where 9 times out of 10, when you check to see what movies are coming up for the next weekend, the only movie that pops up is whatever the big premiere is, because they don't know exactly what theaters are going to be showing what yet.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big part of it.
Yeah. Actually, we did have that tweet from somebody that they posted on the Facebook group. Now, we're not saying that take this as 100% verifiable, but somebody in Germany said that they'd already seen it, and they said it's good enough. It's not great. I think that's what they said. But the big problem was Brie Larson was utterly lacking, and the question was, what was she utterly lacking? And the answer was charisma.
Yeah, I think you brought that up the other day. But again, it could just be
again though, we, like I said, we don't know. We can't verify this. We don't know. We're gonna have, like I said, we're gonna find out in about a week. But
all the tweets that we did see, hardly any of them did bring up her.
Nope, it was always Goose the cat.
Yeah.
Or what's his name?
Kitty. Or Ben Mendelsohn, the other guy, Ben Mendelsohn.
Yeah, Ben Mendelsohn.
Yeah.
You Samuel Jacksons and stuff, and we'll see. I went from being, optimistic to neutral to, just kind of like, I just want it to be over with. You know what I mean? And really, I want to get to Endgame anyway, so it don't fucking matter. And just to finish off what I said before, I just don't see Feige allowing Captain Marvel to come in and take over Endgame and go up against Thanos, and that be the big fight at the end. I don't see that. You don't build up Nebula and Gamora and all the shit you've done so far to this point, and all those other characters, to let that just be the big finale. It doesn't make any sense.
No, it's going to be a big chick fight, though. It's going to be like Nebula, Gamora, Captain Marvel, Michonne, and what's her name? Scarlett Johansson.
If it is that, and it gets real girl power like and whatever, fine, whatever. I don't care. But like I said, if it's just mono a Captain Marvel, then no. Then I'll be like, yeah, you guys are right. This is not a conspiracy. It was them trying all this time to shift for some fucked up reason into a, more female friendly, heavy Marvel universe, in which case, to me, again, makes no sense whatsoever. Just like Star Wars. Why did you buy this if all you were going to do was do to it what everything else you have in your roster already is, except for the few things you did have that were male-oriented, and you didn't know what to do with them?
Well, one of the things is that we always hear, there was, I can't remember what survey it was, but there's always that survey that said 60% of the movie-going audience is female, or 58% of the movie-going audience is female, or whatever it is. But they never, and so there's this, studios see that and say, well, 60% of the audience is female, we have to cater movies more toward women. But they don't see that, you know what, but yeah, okay, 60% of the general audience may be female, but over half of the, I'd say, how much, Mecca, how much would you say, what percentage of men go to see, of the audience that just go see superhero movies? How much would the audience, the percentage?
I would say 75%. It's a lot of families, but there's a lot of just guys.
Well, what you're saying, though, is they're negating the audience they already have.
Yes.
That's the problem. Because what they're not saying, and I think Mecca can back me up on this without me sounding sexist in the process, is women do tend to like movies that guys like sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's okay. You know, they, you know, most women I've dated, they love horror movies or they love action movies or they love whatever. And it's not because they have a strong female lead in it. It's because they want to watch John McClane kick some ass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it makes them hot or whatever the fuck, you know, they're totally they're missing the point of movies again. Yeah. And this all goes back to everything we always talk about, how they miss the point of the messages in movies. It's getting to the point where they're just missing the point of movies altogether. We've gotten on this, not to get on a diatribe, but you know, about the whole thing with, you know, well, if somebody's you know, blind, well, a blind person should play that person, or if somebody's in a wheelchair, somebody who's in a wheelchair bound should play that person. It's like, no, that kind of negates the fact of somebody being an actor. Yes, if you find somebody who can play the part, who happens to be paraplegic, go for it, but don't take that opportunity away from another actor who could play that part. You know, it's getting to that point.
Yeah, and they're also
acting.
You know, they're also doing this thing where they're trying to take sexy out of movies too. Like I did a whole video on people just complaining and trashing the original Star Wars trilogy and like, Slave Leia and you know, like, dude, that's the point. She was strong and sexy. It's okay to be sexy.
Yeah, she loved herself in that outfit, except for things like 50 Shades of Grey. That's okay, because that's made by a woman, which is funny because HBO dropped all their sex-oriented material except for 50 Shades.
Neon Visual, £5 super chat. Ooh, gotta give me some folders now. You guys know I love you. From a bit perspective, it's like there's a race to rip people and groups apart over there lately. Civility's lost. Yeah, it is.
That's what we're trying to say is everybody needs to calm down a little bit, you know, because there's so many people that I've seen that were totally on the other side of the fence one way or another of a recent argument, whether it was Ghostbusters or Star Wars, and now they're acting like they just can't comprehend the other side. And it's like, you were just on that other side. Don't you, you know, and try to get them to kind of see from the other perspective. It's like, you know, everybody has an opinion. That doesn't mean they need to be attacked for it one way or the other, you know, and I'm not sticking up for the movie. I'm not sticking up for Disney. I've already said my piece on what I think Brie has said as far as being stupid, but yeah, it's just, we all need to quit fighting so much. The movie comes out in a week. Let's all be quiet about it for a week if we can't be civil, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, you know, something else is going to hit the fan. And
if she says anything else that's stupid, then there's no control I have over that, obviously. You know what I mean? It's like I can ask for a peace treaty, and I can only expect people to do so much.
I'm thinking Mecca is partly right, though. I think well, obviously, it's kind of a lot of money to go down the drain. I don't think he's deliberate. I don't think Kevin Feige is deliberately tanking the movie, but I think he was told, make this work. I think he was told, hey, you know, we want a Captain Marvel movie. We have our marketing, our bean counters say 60% of the audience is female. We need a female hero. What do you got for us? Well, there's a character called Carol Danvers. You know, we could try. All right, yeah, make it happen. And he may have at some point, like I said, I don't know. This is just me here. He may have said at some point, listen, you know, the character's not that popular. It's been rebooted 8 times in the comics. I don't see how this is going to work. No, you can make it work. You go make it work, and we'll give you everything we need. You need to make it work. Goes, I'm not sure if we can, but okay, you know.
Now, weren't you saying that this was something that Marvel introduced before, like the comics were like trying to make Captain Marvel the big thing for years now? That ain't to say that maybe they hadn't gotten pressure from that end. I don't know. I don't know who would be in charge over there as far as like, because otherwise, I'm sure all that somebody said was, get me another Black Panther, but make it for women or something like that. I'm sure that's what the phone call came down as.
Yeah. Well,
yeah. Hey, feminism's really big. Who do we have? What female superheroes do we have?
But they announced these movies at the same time. That's the thing. Phase 3. That announcement came down at the El Capitan Theater. You know, the same event.
Well, we know that there's a plan. We know that there's most of a plan, but you know, they also probably had 2 plans set in place as far as what was going to happen if the Fox thing didn't go through and all that kind of stuff. But now we know that the door is open to a whole new playground where we've got X-Men and all these other characters to play with. So I can't imagine they're going to bank and hang up everything and die on this hill with Captain Marvel, because as we've said in the past, they can afford to have quite a few flops. But if they're really trying so hard to do whatever with this, and this really blows up in their face the way it does and fucks everything up, especially if Endgame ends the way that I said I'm afraid it would, if that's the worst case scenario, then this is that they could do it in 2 movies, just like Star Wars. They could kill it like that. You know what I mean? It would be done right now. If the end of Endgame is the way that you guys are saying it is, then we're fucked, because everybody's going to turn away from Marvel. It's done.
Hold on, Brandy Hagermeyer. Why is every chick in movies now so frumpy? Is it not okay to be pretty?
That's what Mecca was saying.
I'm
yeah.
hot. At least my husband thinks so. Okay, yeah, it's part of third wave feminism. Professor Geek, actually, if he's listening out there, hey, what's going on? We got to get Professor Geek on here.
I tell you, all they got to do is come to us, or you go to them. I don't care. They know we go almost every day, so I have no problem with bringing people on. You know that.
Yeah. It's part of third wave feminism, Brandy. That it's almost a return to Victorianism, that we have women that they want to cover themselves in clothing that does not reveal any part of their femininity or de-emphasizes their femininity. You know, how dare you be beautiful? And Mecca and I seem to agree that you get certain women, and probably like Kelly Sue DeConnick and like Noelle Stevenson, who have grown up and they actually hate their bodies. Like I said, I can't say for sure as a man, but Mecca, aren't there a lot of women out there who hate their bodies?
I think all women hate their bodies at some point, or at least most of them. But yeah, it's.
Well, you're not wrong, though. I think a big part of it is, not to interrupt, is basically that you're not allowed now to have a woman who's more prettier than possibly a woman in the audience, because they could be offended.
Yeah.
Thing.
Oh, that's objectification. That's sexualization. Like, no, it's not sex. It's idealization. There's a difference. The idealized. Okay, this is gonna be my intellectual side coming out. So don't think so, everybody. If anybody out there has ever studied art or studied, I studied anthropology a little bit, in school, and but I've been to the Vatican Museum. I've been to museums in Italy. The Renaissance artists, Michelangelo, Beramonte, Da Vinci, they would see, a lot of them would sculpt religious figures, and they were always perfect. And you look at La Pietà and you say to yourself, Mary looks kind of young to have a 30-year-old son. But the idea was that there is perfection in divinity. And that is sort of the same idea. These aren't supposed to be actual people. They're kind of supposed to be gods on earth, is the idea. Superheroes are the idealized form of human beings. And in that idealization, there is perfection, there is beauty, there is strength. And if you actually go back and mythology, the mightiest, the strongest, most powerful female warriors were also the most beautiful. Why? Because they got everything else down. And there is great strength in beauty. There is. And you have people like, and again, you have people like Noelle Stevenson, Kelly Sue DeConnick. No. If we portray them as beautiful, then, that's insulting to women. We're saying we're putting out a standard that they can't possibly achieve. I'm like, but that's the whole idea. You cannot achieve that. That's the ideal. That is the ideal. You're not supposed to be able to achieve that, but it's there to inspire people to be more than what they are.
Yeah, because under that logic, all these years I've been aspiring to be an alien from another planet who soaks up the sun's rays and has superpowers.
Exactly. Cardboard Kenny, $5 super chat. Can I just come and deliver this cat food in person? Maybe I can be on the show and talk cats. Ooh, kitty, kitty, kitty.
Actually, yeah, we gotta have Cardboard Kenny on sometime. He's funny.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
Kitty, kitty, kitty. My cat used to go, kitty, kitty, kitty. She used to go.
He does have his own channel, too.
The Cardboard Kenny channel?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But like I said, there was that.
I like big Asian butts, and I cannot lie.
That's right.
Somebody shouted out for that in the chat. Sorry.
There was that one.
Was it you? Did you type it in just so you could so you could play it?
No, but there was that one Ms. Marvel cover that Professor Geek keeps going back to. It's this one, actually. I mean, it's this one here. And I'm bringing up the full screen. But I mean, and like I said, you know, and this is the one. This is what Marvel is afraid of. This is what everybody's afraid of now. I mean, look at that. Is a powerful, powerful woman right there. Look at that. She's ripped. She's confident. She's saying, yes, I know I'm beautiful. You're not, and you're not going to mess with me.
She's not the girly man, but she's a girl.
Exactly.
No, that's a woman. Brie Larson is a little girl.
She would cross
eyes. That is a woman. That is a bold, confident, sexy, feminine, powerful woman. Okay.
That's what She-Ra should look like.
Exactly. Yes, that is an unattainable ideal, but that is the whole idea. Again, there is perfection. There is perfection and strength in beauty. It's not something I'm inventing. This goes back all the way to ancient Greece and even Egypt. Like I said, throughout history and throughout mythology, the most powerful female warriors were the most beautiful. So really, you're fighting human nature is what it is. You're fighting thousands of years of mythology and man's idea of what constitutes beauty and power and strength. All for what? So you can have so you can tear down the patriarchy that had nothing to do with this. So, okay. Well, much as it pains me, I got to think. Okay. Okay. End of. Yeah, Captain Harry.
Right,
I think that's
mankind. Yeah, you mean mankind, not man, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Black Phoenix. No, too much objectification. Back when they could draw sell a Carol Danvers book. Yeah.
I was just enjoying the view.
Right.
Yeah, Brandy Hagemeyer. Yes, she could snap you in half. Yes, that's why you didn't want to mess with her.
Like a twig.
And there's great, like I said, there's power, but there's also beauty, and there's this undeniable sexiness to that. I don't want a weak ass woman.
Well, because she looks fit enough for childbearing. She looks like she's going to survive the winter. You know, Brie Larson. If you left her on an island somewhere, she'd be dead in a week.
Oh shit.
Seriously, this woman, this Carol Danvers would be out there fishing. She would be like, she would survive. She would be okay.
Hayden White says that's the problem. That's man's idea of beauty.
Brie would probably die walking around the island 20,000 times trying to get cell service.
I know, I was just thinking that. She dived herself on her hand.
I think I'm in a dead zone. Oh my god, there's no
here.
service. Siri,
Here.
Siri, what's the best way off of this island?
There's not enough diversity on this island. It's way too white. The entire
my
population
God.
is white.
Yes, the entire population, me, is white. Yes, I'm the only person here.
Mystic Knight says that's mean. I don't know if he means us, but I'm sorry. I had to say it.
I'm the only person on this. We're far. I'm so
women are so
so not
peanut
diverse.
Well, yeah.
Zenny on the top. Yeah.
She'll tell you right off the bat. That's probably another reason why. And like I said before, not only do they not want other women in the audience to be offended, but then that's competition on screen there.
Mm-hmm.
remember what Chris Rock said? Women hate women. Women hate other women. He said, "You bring your man." It says, "Ladies, your man brings your girl around his other guy friends. They say, 'Oh man, look at her. Where can I get me a girl like that? I want a girl like that. Man, where can I find her? I want a girl like that.'" It's ladies, you bring your man around your girlfriends. They say, "Damn, I want him, and I'll slit that skinny bitch's throat to get him." So, yeah, nobody hates women more than other women. That's true. Isn't that true, Mecca?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Those are the petty, jealous sort of creep women that get on social media and complain about men because secretly they hate other women, but they don't want to bash them outright.
Yes, Electric Barbarella. I remember you were on the Robert Meyer Burnett chat, actually. Yes, earlier today. I was on that chat too. So how's it going? Yeah, good for you to join us.
I missed that.
Yes, those kind.
Re-editing our interview with him.
Yeah. So yeah. So yeah. It's one thing to complain about Twiggy's physique. It's there's actual health concern. There's no health concern over a muscular chick. Rob Al Bundy did a great monologue.
Well, the only health concern is if she's gonna destroy you in bed or not. That's about it.
Death by snoo snoo.
Death by snoo snoo. Yes, but you'll go with a smile. It'll be the fuck of a lifetime. That was a great story. Yeah, it was. Yeah. Okay. What do you say? We wrap this up now?
I think that was a good place to end it right there. Yeah.
Death by snoo snoo. Go with a smile.
Yeah. The only thing I can say to that is old man Picard would say, "That's the way I want to go." Snoo snoo.
Snoo snoo. Everybody, okay. If you like what we do here, and if the idea of Death by snoo snoo is good as turns you on or off,
make it so.
Then make it so. Then click the like button, click subscribe, click the bell icon, head over to the main channel, click the like button, click subscribe, click the bell icon over there, head over to Patreon. You get all kinds of bonuses, bloopers, outtakes, lost episodes, upcoming notifications of mini documentaries, behind the edge making the videos, my 10-minute stand-up set, and more. You can support the channel for as little as $1 a month. And if you don't have the means to support us through Patreon, then until we find a better alternative, you can also actually send us money through PayPal if you like.
Well, he hasn't got it set up yet. I'm thinking about just giving him my PayPal. I don't know. He's supposed to be setting one up, but I don't know what it is yet. He hasn't told me, so we're working on that.
Give all your money. You may find it money. Just give us money. I want money. Give him all your money.
Kenny, we're going to take your money and run. I'm sorry.
Give him all your money. Give him all your money. Give him all your money. That's
so you can play Rob if you want, if it makes it all better.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, and like I said, we're gonna set that up soon. So anyway, like I said, if you don't have the means to support us through Patreon, then please click like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, share with your friends. Just watch a few ads because we cannot do this without you. Mecca, tell them about your channel. Yes.
My channel is MechaRandom42, and what do I do? I complain about Captain Marvel. I rant. Yeah, we do live streams, live watches of Star Trek Discovery. I complain about Star Trek. I love the Orville.
25K, didn't you?
26, I think I'm at now.
Now you're at home.
Yeah, I was at 25, and then I like went up to 26 like the next day.
Oh, girl.
And we goof around too much. We'll never get to 26 on this
Oh,
channel.
hell no.
We'll get to it by the year 25.
We're always fighting to keep the lights on here after dark. That's why it's called After Dark. It's
I
like
gotta come a couple.
Discovery. We keep hitting our shins on the fucking end tables.
Yes. I gotta come up with a couple more rants. That'll help. All right, Mecca,
We'll do
continue
well.
on.
I think that was it. And I
was
stream
it?
on Twitch sometimes.
Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
If Identity Part 2 was good, we did a review just a little bit ago. It is fucking amazing. It's brilliant. Oh my god.
Yes.
I said if they could send in both episodes, please do. But if not this episode for an Emmy nomination, and if it doesn't get nominated, at least something's wrong.
Yes. Okay. Oh darn! I don't have a thumbnail for this episode. Oh well, we'll make one up in the next day or two. So, all right, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. So there's the music. Thanks everybody for joining us. Everybody, we love to talk about strong Carol Danvers.
Giggity, 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 giggity.
What are you, turning into some kind of feminist?
Yes, we are. We'll see you all next time.
That guy was an annoying, greasy-headed loser.
This is between me and that shitty cheap
Archer.
Hey!
You're gonna pay for that!
No, don't do this to me!
My name's Bender.